Hey guys, I'm Alex from technoclass.com coming to you with another unscripted unboxing, this time of the Cherry Mobile Flare S2. This is a affordable quad-core device, MediaTek 6582M processor, but the most interesting spec feature of this guy is that they say that it's using the same 8 megapixel camera as the Nexus 5, using the Sony IMX179 camera with dual LED flash. So that's pretty impressive. The display is at 4.5 inch 854 by 480. That's full wide VGA 4.5 inch. So this is priced at 4,000. My bad, 4,699. So that's 4,700 pesos. It's pretty affordable for a quad-core device, and hopefully the camera is really good. So we're just gonna unbox it right now. We're just gonna try to peel off the plastic. You know how it goes with these kinds of unscripted unboxings. We do not actually know what's inside and how we can actually, or what kind of things are in there. We're just gonna wing it. Winging it. Ooh, we can. That's a pretty good way to open that guy. Alright, so Flare S2 box is slightly different from the Omega Icon. This is reminiscent of their old boxes. Let's just cut the seals. There we go. Perfect. And perfect. Alright, so the box pulls down from the bottom, and there we go. Alright, so there's a little bit of a flap here. Bam! You can pop the phone open, and this is the phone. Wow. Wow. Metallic back right there. It's a bit longer than I thought it would look like. A bit of a sort of a longer phone than it is wide. Looks like that's the 8 megapixel camera. Let's look at the find the other things in the box, especially the battery. So, ooh, that's okay. A bit of a foamy sides right there, and looks like a white micro USB cable, and a white 3.5 millimeter headset. Another white charger, travel charger. Gives us, looks like 1000 milliamps. So that's a bit of a decent battery charger. This is a bit of a manual, Flare S2 user manual. Looks like black and white with some pictures. There we go. That's it for the box. This is the battery. The battery gives us 1,800 milliamp hour. So this is a pretty inexpensive device. 4,699 pesos, just above some of the Flare, other Flares actually. But this has, you know, supposedly a promising camera. We're gonna check that out in just a bit. So this is the device itself. We're just gonna peel. Well, we'll do the boot up first, I guess. So this is the back. We'll just open the back right there. Bam. Alright, so inside there is a micro SD card slot. There's a SIM 1 and SIM 2. Doesn't say which one is 3G, so I'm gonna assume both are 3G. So we just pop in the battery like this, and pop in the back. This is the back. A little bit of a, I don't know what that texture is. Interesting. Oh, that's just for maybe electronic static protection, maybe. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. Like I said, I don't know. This is unscripted, so we don't know what's going on. Look at that. I like the sort of metallic sides. That's very solid. Very nice. Let's boot up the phone right now. Flare S2. This is sort of the new popular choice among sort of gaming centered users, because, well, you have a full wide VGA display, and, you know, what is that? There's a bit of dirt there. Full wide VGA display and a fast 1.3 gigahertz MediaTek 6582M processor with Mali 400 graphics. Alright, so that is booted up, and we're just gonna go okay there. This interface is very similar to the Omega Icon, if I'm not mistaken. All of the icons are similar, and it's seems like the camera app, no, the camera app is a little bit different. This might be a not Android 4.3 like the icon. Yeah, it's Android 4.2.2, but there you go. Actually, I'm liking this display. This is not so as pixelated as I thought it would look like. This is just this is 854 by 480, but it's not looking too bad at all. I mean, the icons are not too high res, but if you look at it just a glance, by just glancing on it, it doesn't look too bad. Alright, so that is the 4.5 inch 854 by 480 display. We're just going to turn that off. Looks like there is the 2 megapixel camera right there, and that seems like there's a little bit of a nub on the corner there where the proximity and light sensitivity sensor are, and looks like we have start launcher, start lock screen again, so we're just going to ignore that. On the bottom we have a home, back, and menu button, and that's about it. There's a bit of a speaker grill right there. I don't know, that's a bit tall for the bezels, but of course it's a pretty easy to handle phone because of the 4.5 inch screen. Of course, you know, texting is easy because you can reach your thumb everywhere. On the left side there is a volume rocker, nice little metallic volume rocker with, of course, the metal strip I was talking about. This is pretty solid. I don't know if that's real metal, but it's actually very solid. I like the texture. Over on the bottom there is a pinhole microphone. On the right side there is a power button and the little flap, little nub, so you can open the back. On top we have a 3.5mm headset jack. Can you get that to focus? Maybe not. There we go. Alright, and a micro USB port for charging and data transfer. And this is the back. I kind of like this design, actually, this sort of metallic design. It's actually also a little bit not super light. I don't know, it's very solid in the hand. There's no creakiness, and I like that. I don't know if definitely the back is not metal, but it does remind me of a nice shiny metal. I don't know, is this champagne gold? Is this what they call champagne gold? It's pretty nice. On the back we have a Cherry Mobile logo over there, speaker grill, flare logo over there in white, and this is the 8 megapixel camera with dual LED flash. And just want to mention, it looks like the back protrudes over the camera module, so you won't necessarily risk scratching the camera lens, but you might scratch the actual back portion, the back plastic. But either way, that looks pretty good to me. We are gonna look around this interface really quickly. Looks pretty stock. Didn't ask me to log into my accounts or anything, which is, oh, there you go. That's a nice, very stockish Android look. We are gonna, very smooth actually. This is obviously 854 by 480 running, being run by the quad-core MediaTek 6582M, which can handle this type of resolution really well. So as you can see, it's very lag free. It's very smooth, really nice. I like the handling, I like the build quality. Didn't think I would like the display, but this display is not so bad. Let's try a macro shot right now. There you go. So not so bad at all. So that is the Flare S2. We are gonna install some apps and stuff, some Antutus, and we are gonna come back with the benchmark and maybe a game or two, and we're gonna try and take a picture with the supposedly very good camera with the Sony IMX179 sensor. So we'll be back in a bit. Alright guys, we are back, and as you can see, this is the Antutu score of the Cherry Mobile Flare S2. The score is 17,405. As you can see, CPU good, supports large apps and multitasking. RAM is good, 2D graphics general, 3D graphics good, fluently supports most games. So that is a very respectable score for 17,405 for the 6582M. I guess it's because of the full wide VGA 854 by 480 display helping out that sort of benchmark score. Now what we want to show you here is the refresh rate, 54.27 Hertz, which is a respectable one. Would have wanted it to be 60, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. I'm getting an email. I don't know who Flying Tanuki is, but whatever. One thing I did notice on the interface, though, is that there's a added security warning thing. As you can see, it's trying to use the camera, and then you can allow it. It's kind of a weird thing that there is that sort of feature there, but it is nice because obviously if you're installing questionable apps, you want to know what kind of stuff it accesses. But yeah, that is the Antutu benchmark. It is a 5-point touchscreen, as you can see right here. 5 points, there you go. It's not registering a 6th point, so that means it's a 5-point touchscreen. As far as sensors go, we have accelerometer, light sensor, proximity sensor, and a sound sensor, which is pretty typical for this kind of smartphone. Now, for gaming, of course, we're going to try it on a Flappy Bird for some reason. Oh, I hit the camera again. Flappy Bird because, you know, people say that some phones cannot run Flappy Bird fine, and this looks like pretty good, pretty standard speed for Flappy Bird. Now, we're going to do a Riptide GP2 as well. And we're just going to skip all the loading really quickly. Alright, so it looks like we are at the highest amount of graphics for Riptide GP2. We're just going to start a game right now and see how it performs. Of course, this has 1 gig of RAM, 4 gigs of RAM with a micro SD. I did notice, I like the fact that the storage is unified. I will show you that in a bit. Right now we are going to do some jet ski racing. And there we go, hint of boost. It is pretty smooth, yeah, that is definitely quite smooth. And like I said before on the display, it's not super pixelated, but you do see some pixels here and there. You won't notice it unless you are looking for it, and I just messed up that jump. Great. Alright, well, this is definitely very, very smooth. The 6582M processor with the Mali 400 GPU is definitely doing a lot of work here, and this game looks to be very, very playable on the Cherry Mobile Flare S2, which is probably something to be expected because of the combination. Anyway, that's it. The thing I want to show you is the unified memory scheme. If you go to storage, and as you can see, there is the 2.66 gigabytes of storage, and there is no more internal or other type of storage, which means that's it for memory. Well, that means they're not splitting it like other phones. Like some phones will split 1 gig and then 1.5 gig elsewhere. This is a unified scheme, so that's a nice thing because you don't have to worry about, you know, running out of internal storage. Of course, there's preferred install location, so that's probably the option to install to SD cards because there's nothing else to install to. There's only phone storage and SD cards. So giving you that option means it probably has SD cards installs. But typically, Cherry Mobile has SD card installs anyway. But yeah, there you go. So last thing I want to show you is the camera app, which is right here. So I did notice the camera, of course, is supposedly the touted Sony IMX179 sensor, which is a very nice sensor. Here's a quick shot right there. I did notice that it tends to underexpose on my sort of low light test. As you can see, this is my low light test. Admittedly, the shot on the underexposed shot is pretty detailed, well detailed, and pretty sharp. But if you increase the exposure rating on your camera, it does come up with a really nice shot right here with pretty good details. A little bit of noise, but this is a pretty respectable camera for this phone. And this is just a phone under 5,000 pesos. This is 4,699. Could be one of the better cameras I've seen under 5,000 pesos. So that is very impressive. So there you go. I think we've tried it on Antutu. We've tried some gaming and all that stuff, all of the sensors and stuff. This is the Cherry Mobile Flare S2. Personally, I think it's a very impressive gaming phone. For 4,699, the camera is pretty impressive so far, although it does tend to underexpose. I'm going to have to investigate the camera further because I think it's promising, but the underexposed shots is going to be an issue if that still persists. But there you go. I like the design. It's pretty solid. Typical flare devices in this price range usually has a creaky bit of cover on the sides. This time it doesn't creak because there is a metallic stripe and the back cover is on top. It's no longer creaky. The build quality is good, and the back, even though it's not metal, it does seem like it's pretty solid. The display, of course, you have the start launcher, which I'm not not a very big fan of, which you can disable, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that is the Cherry Mobile Flare S2. Very promising budget quad-core device. So there you go. I'm Alex from TechnoClass.com. That has been your unscripted unboxing of the Cherry Mobile Flare S2. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.